All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Brand Royale. This week, we have an interesting episode for you. Something pretty controversial right now in the creative world. Sho?
We got Dall-E and we got MidJourney, AI image generators. These are two different companies, OpenAI and MidJourney Research Lab, creating really fun tools.
Scary,
but kind of exciting in the same time. It's kind of like the magic tool that we've always wanted, I think.
It's a new era for creative tools. I mean, we went from MS Paint to this.
Oh man, imagine kids now, they're playing with this like MidJourney on Discord.
They go to Discord, they type in a prompt, and they get photorealistic paintings, whatever they want, of anything they want.
They don't know.
They don't know.
It's MS Paint. You had to train in MS Paint too.
Oh man, I did.
Okay, we won't go into that tangent just yet.
Oh my god. Anyways, so we're excited to get into these two brands, two really, really interesting brand new tools, and they just both kind of opened the tools to everybody. MidJourney just finally opened their beta a little bit up to everybody.
Yeah, both went commercial. It's funny how like if one goes commercial, the other one kind of has to.
I mean, MidJourney has been building that database or at least their community for quite a while. So it's really fascinating to see both of their journeys. Because Dall-E started in 2021, MidJourney 2022. It's pretty crazy. They're like new companies. They're new movements.
Very quick.
New movements. Yeah.
I'm really curious to see if because OpenAI is very they give out their research papers and different things like that. If MidJourney is at all based on it, I have no clue. But I'd be fascinated with that stuff.
Let's get into their brand. Let's take a look. So we'll get into their product a little bit later, but first let's take a look of how they present themselves. Really interesting. So MidJourney, first of all, there's no other mark than this sales ship. Like that ship is all they have. The one on the right is just what they have on their social. So on their Twitter, which they don't have that much social, but on their Twitter, that's their profile picture. So it's almost like they're using it as a logo. I'm guessing it's AI generated.
I would hope so. That'd be really cool.
And then the ship is just their icon on Discord. So that's their brand. And then very limited color palette on their website and on their products. Simple, kind of like more techie font compared to Dall-E as well.
It feels kind of underground, like an underground movement almost. Like it feels lot less corporate.
Yeah, it's very like hackery, like
put
together.
This is kind of like the growth hacker, the one that's kind of like you're exploring, you're creative, you're kind of funky. Dall-E still seems like they're being responsible.
Yeah, they're a bit more serious about it. Yeah, I agree. They take a bit more serious tone. Super interesting.
Georgia's a super like conservative typeface compared to Fira Mono. But it's fun. Fira Mono gives you that kind of like ex machina feel. Mm-hmm. Whereas Georgia feels like, oh, this is very intellectual. Like this is properly researched and then considered.
Yeah, there's trust versus like innovation.
Yeah,
almost in a way. It's pretty interesting. Let's go on to the next thing. We're getting into their website and a little bit of how they present themselves there before we jump into the product, which I think is the exciting part. But yeah, let's switch to their websites.
Of course.
MidJourney just released this new website. At first, they were just a email capture with a Discord link and stuff to get invited to the beta. And now they finally released a website, and it's a bunch of prompts. I think hopefully that people have typed or that they've created, but as a graphic, and it changes all the time. It looked different when you loaded it earlier.
Oh, does it change when you refresh? Oh, it does.
They have different backgrounds. Yeah.
That's very cool. I mean, this is the type of the stuff that gets you excited as like a young new creative. And so I think they hit their target. Really
we're talking about the hacker look, and look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a straight Matrix kind of
it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, pretty beautiful.
Matrix is it's like a Matrix visualizer.
This could be their mark. This mark is kind of interesting. It's a little bit hard to read, but I think you can make something of it.
Oh, this logo type right here, this MidJourney.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clean. I could see them playing with it. Let's take a look at Dall-E.
Yeah. Again, more serious, more establishment, more trust. I like the black background.
I do like this
more
better.
serious.
I do have to admit.
It's
as
way
much as I'm like
an
artist. I went to art school and different things.
This is
like that.
cool in a geeky way. I think. Like I think for some people it's gonna work, and then the other one for like the young early like adopters for their platform, I think it works really well.
It's really bold. Dall-E's
and
huge.
Then Dall-E is really the opposite.
Their product description's extremely clear.
Kind of like Apple style, very like clean and.
You could see all those images in the background. A little teaser of how good Dall-E is. It really is impressive.
And they're nice color coding and stuff. I think they have some interesting things. They put these marks, these color marks as well on each image that's generated. So if you look at the bottom right of each image, they have that mark on there.
Yeah. So why do you think they did that? I didn't notice that's on every single Dall-E export.
I think it's an easy marker to know where the image has been generated. It's like a branding.
It's like a watermark.
Without putting their logo. Yeah.
Anti-watermark, but watermark still.
It's kind of a logo, but not a logo. And then they use it on their websites, intelligently to bring it back.
Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Astronaut on a unicorn. Not a unicorn.
Just a horse. So this is how these softwares work. So you enter this prompt on the right, for example. So an astronaut, teddy bears, or ball soup, whatever. So an astronaut riding a horse in a photorealistic style, and this is what the AI generates.
It's interesting how they are kind of showing how the different classifiers are used.
So play with those. Let's play with those. Let's see what
you click on teddy bears.
Mixing
shopping for groceries. See, okay. So they're just trying to.
They're showing you how the prompts change, and then the style. So now let's change the style. Go back to shopping
as a one-line drawing,
or as an ancient Egypt style. That's pretty cool.
And Warhol.
Look at that.
As a pencil drawing. That's a great way to kind of intro people into prompt design, and how to come up with good language to get exactly what you want. It's interesting. People kind of will give it like, I want an astronaut, and expect the system to understand the type of style that it's supposed to be in, what kind of context it's supposed to be. And so typically they don't get like really good output. But people that have been doing this for a while or just playing around with it for an hour, they're putting some really good stuff.
If you become a really good curator of words and of ideas, of thought processes that like really good designers and artists are really good at, they know they understand their process and they know how to translate it, and they use these tools really efficiently. And this is why you see the community. For example, you talked about MidJourney's earlier adopters were all like pretty decently trained artists to feed the database a lot of really good prompts. And so now you can see a lot of different qualities for both of these softwares between Dall-E and MidJourney that are very different. But they both have their really good things and the not so good things. And this is where it gets really interesting. The more you play with them, the more you notice the differences, and the more you can honestly harness the tools to do what you want.
Yeah, it's impressive how fast they are progressing too, both of them. Even the short while that we've kind of been playing around with them, they seem to be getting better and better. The variations, the ability to edit and make improvements. Also, I think a big part of that is just the way that they are training people to use the system. Both on Dall-E and MidJourney, you have the ability to kind of like if you like one of these, you can ask to scale it or to save it for later.
So let's go into this actually. Let's talk about the product, because the next thing in the agenda I knew was the product. So now that we're looking at these guys, this is the two different platforms. One of them is Dall-E on the left, where you have your prompt entry. It's kind of like a search bar, like on Google, very simple. And then the other one on the right is MidJourney. That's your community feed and your internal profile, where it shows you what you've created, but it's using Discord as an interface. So let's show them how that works. I think that's a good segue.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, right here, I think this is showing their web interface, but it's more used for the gallery. Yeah, you're completely right. MidJourney's primary interface is Discord, which is fascinating.
I'm guessing MidJourney, as soon as now that they have all these people using it, they're going to create their own interfaces that you're going to be able to get through either an app on your desktop, or you'll be able to go to their website. Wherever your portfolio is where you'll be able to also use their own interface for bots. I don't see why they would keep it on Discord forever. I think as soon as they scale enough
I think we can in very few months see all these capabilities that you see in Discord like show up in their web app for sure.
And probably on a mobile app. I'm guessing they're going to put a lot of importance on mobile creation. So I think it'll be really interesting to see them do that, because if you can create these types of assets on the go, you're on an airplane and you can create this work, it's really next level. I don't know if it's all creativity, but next level art creation in play.
So let's take a look at some of the output from both of these systems.
Do you want to show the platform first, or do you want to show the output?
Let's
show the platform.
Of course.
Let's jump into Discord. You were on Discord, so let's start. Let's start with MidJourney.
Okay. So on MidJourney, it's really fascinating. On the left-hand side here, you see how active the community is, right? People are giving feedback to each other. people are talking about the philosophy of creating this artwork.
So that was the only way to sign up. That's the only way to sign up is you sign up to get invited to their beta for a Discord access, and then they give you Discord access and they invite you to a channel, and you just start creating on this channel. And then you realize that there's hundreds of channels with thousands of people and other chats that help you understand prompts better, that give you all this so it's really an amazing community feedback. Everybody is making the tool better exponentially every day. And that's invaluable data for a company like MidJourney. It's going to be really fascinating to see how they scale really quickly. But yeah, look at all these different channels. It's crazy.
This prompt craft channel is a goldmine in terms of like understanding how to craft your prompt like a poet to get kind of beautiful imagery. The more interesting and kind of specific your prompt is, the better the image. You know, it's funny, you can actually take beautiful writing from popular books and then even poetry and pop it in there, and typically you get a beautiful image as well. So this is fascinating.
So let's take a look at these channels. Look at this.
Over here, these are general channels where people are just posting.
They're creating live. So let's take a look at there's channels where you'll see these things start moving and people are creating variations and creating art live as you go on. So if you keep scrolling, you can take a look at a lot of different. So let's explain how this UI works. So you enter a prompt, and after you enter a prompt, it gives you these different images. So it's imagine. Oh, I think you got.
Oh, sorry.
Imagine, yeah.
You go, imagine a motorcycle rider. What should we do? With a red jacket.
Riding clouds in the sky.
Riding clouds in the sky.
And then maybe a style or so.
Style of.
So you can go into prompts. Prompts are going to be. The more time you spend refining them, the more time you'll understand how to create really impactful prompts. I wouldn't say we're experts, but let's see what this comes up with. And you can give it let's see what it does. So anyways, it creates 4 variations of something that it thinks you're interested in seeing. It will load. It's going to bounce us back and forth. And then underneath, it gives you U1 to 4 and V1 to 4. So the U are the upscales where you can take one image. So 1 top left, U4 bottom right, and it will scale it and give it to you at a higher res with more details. It figures out more things about the image. Oh. And then the variations underneath will give you different variations of these 4. Or any of the one that you want. So if you're interested at the bottom left because you think it's interesting, then you make another variation and it'll create more work from it. So let's see. This is loading now. You can see it's at 16%. And
this is a weird prompt. A motorcycle rider with a red jacket riding clouds in the sky in the style of Rembrandt.
So let's see. I don't know if Rembrandt has ever...
Rembrandt has obviously... He's never seen a motorcycle before.
This is pretty crazy though. Look at this.
And then it's kind of fun, too, to see in MidJourney how it kind of progressively loads. That's different from Dall-E. Dall-E just kind of kicks out the image for you. But it's kind of like watching an artist.
You can pay for it to go faster, by the way. But for those that appreciate the art of AI creation, you can sit here and just watch it do. And really quickly, you start understanding that, this thing understands a lot of different things, including composition. And you can see, look at these clouds that are, bright against dark. It understands contrast. Understands a lot of different things.
Volumetric lighting, stuff that's super sophisticated for a computer to typically do. It's amazing that it's able to do this.
So here, for example, if you like that, let's say you like that top right one, you could create a different variation of that one, and it would start, ideating on that image and giving you more variations of that image for you to keep refining and refining. Or you can start with a new prompt from scratch, and usually you're not going to get the same results. But really interesting.
Fascinating stuff. Let's
look at Dall-E.
Let's take a look at Dall-E. So you can already see here's a few different examples. This is a painting of a fox setting in the field of a universe in the style of Claude Monet. Claude Monet. I'm happy I have a French guy here, man. Thank you.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
So now we're going to show you the difference with Dall-E, and we've entered the same prompt into Dall-E, and we're going to see what that feels like and what that looks like. We have no idea. We can look after at some of the other things that we've created with some different prompts. Very interesting, super powerful tool. It's really, really amazing.
Yeah, I'm fascinating. Interesting.
Okay,
It's so different.
So this is way more action-packed. It's like, look at these.
Go.
He's wearing a nose piece.
He's really flying through the sky. It's interesting. Dall-E doesn't do as well with faces, I noticed. Like, I can add variations for this. Like, I can say edit and, like, tell him to fix a face. But it seems to avoid faces.
I think until you refine it more and more and more, right?
Yeah.
Because it's collaging, it's creating all these faces from scratch, right? So it's pretty much,
sure.
it's making a collage of hundreds of different portraits. It's pretty crazy. It probably takes a lot of time to refine it, but look how beautiful. Like, some of these compositions are crazy.
I wouldn't say this is Rembrandt, but I like it.
It's like, it's a bit of an insult to Rembrandt, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this is where it's interesting, actually. Why would you need to reference an artist if you were a good creative and your own style is expressed? How do you express it in words so it's your own style that comes out and not somebody else's style that you apply over your own ideas?
Yeah.
This is where prompt creation, and this is where these tools will get really amazing, is that to the day where you're going to have levers to change things, you're going to get some really, really
like, how do you how do you have the vocabulary to do the same things that you do with a paintbrush almost?
It's hard because, like, some people are much better writers. Maybe writers are going to be better at this tool,
for
and
sure.
they most likely will be.
Yeah.
There's going to be some incredible writers coming in here, and for the first time ever, will be able to express their ideas visually.
They could dream up the craziest scenarios.
And to be honest, for creative and visual person like us, we're also given access to, Jasper.ai that allows you to, like, help your writing improve dramatically through the use of AI. So both we can become better writers and they can become better creative artists, visual artists. Pretty amazing.
I'm going to try another one. I'm going to try a screenshot of a monkey enjoying an onsen bath in Japan from in the style of Miyazaki. Let's see if... Did I spell onsen wrong? I hope not. Being half Japanese, that would be shame on my family. But let's see what happens, and we'll do the same thing. We'll give the same prompt to MidJourney as well. Oh, look at that!
Oh man, that monkey's chilling.
Just chilling.
Is he holding a drink?
It's fine.
I don't think he understood Miyazaki. Maybe
it did not understand Miyazaki at all. Let's see.
Maybe Studio Ghibli will understand better.
Studio Ghibli.
I don't.
In the style of Studio Ghibli.
I don't know if I'll understand it. Let's see what
I'm just gonna put baths to see if it gives me something more interesting.
Or maybe a movie. You said the monkey is from a movie. One of the movies. Maybe he uses the style.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
I don't know if there's a monkey in any of his movies. There has to be. Of course there is.
So anyways, interesting to see the different approaches that both of these companies take, though, like through their UI. So Dall-E is pretty straightforward, honestly. They're taking like almost a Google approach. Here's the search bar, just type in what you're looking for. And then it gives you all of your history of stuff. But look at these monkeys. It's pretty amazing.
It's a monkey enjoying a bath.
Now that we've seen how they both work, let's take a look at some of the work that's been created on both of these communities. So MidJourney has a really good community feed that's pretty mind-blowing of the things that people have made in the past like few months.
Significantly more active. I wonder how much bigger their community is, but because of the accessibility through Discord, like I can imagine it's way more.
Scroll through some of these. Look at that.
They've also done a good job on Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, look how well it's curated. It gives you like old Tumblr vibes and stuff.
It's
like super. And when you hover, it gives you the prompt that people have entered to get to there. It doesn't tell you how many variations or how many upscales and things that it took to get it. But look at this. This was done by an AI.
All it takes is this beautiful prompt. A portrait of the cutest red fox ever. You just have to specify the cutest, apparently, to get this cuteness going. But impressive. It's also interesting to note that they mention things like Unreal Engine, because the AI will be able to go online and find really good examples of great renders happening on Unreal Engine. And most animators that are probably using the engine like this probably understand good lighting and different things like that. So you're getting a lot of those attributes through
one reference point.
Exactly. It's quite beautiful.
I'm guessing if you want to do something fashion related, you put Vogue, and it's going to really help you narrow down what the visual look of this and it's going to look like.
Wow. So this is a macro photo of shiny metallic dragon scales. But that's pretty compelling. Like if you told me, Sho, you have 5 hours in Photoshop to create dragon scales.
Yeah, never. I would never do that.
Hard.
It's ridiculous.
That would be really, really hard.
We're gonna do our next episode is gonna focus a lot on these AI creation tools in terms of what what the prompts that people are using and the biases behind it and all these things. But there's gonna be a lot of interesting stuff. We'll talk a lot about some of these artists and where this industry is going for creative artists going to design schools, presenting this to their teachers, or now professionals presenting this as professional work in the workplace and stuff. So really interesting how fast things are going to change, because junior designers should be afraid a little bit of like some of these tools, and senior designers that maybe not keeping up with the modern tools have to like now potentially use tools like that to compete with people coming into the industry using tools like this.
It's impressive to see a storyboard being built using MidJourney and different things like that.
Yeah.
The amount of iterations that you can go through. Like hopefully this means that we're going to have some amazing creativity coming out. That's kind of my hope, is that this kind of becomes a realm where, like, if you have access to stuff like this in the future, like having bad art or having bad design anywhere is like inexcusable. Yeah. A beautiful, beautiful world ahead. Anyway, let's take a look at some more of these variations really quick before we jump into Dall-E. But you're going to notice a few trends here, right? Like it's very artistic. Like the entire community is really deriving towards certain types of painting trends.
Well, I'm guessing
digital art
guessing
trends.
the database is probably created around a lot more art than maybe Dall-E's is images.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing maybe a lot of if the prompts are way more, if the database is way more of creative art, then I'm guessing a lot of that is going to come through on MidJourney, which is why maybe there's not as much realistic thing. Maybe there is actually. We'd have to look into it.
That would be my guess as well. Like for them to increase the quality of the output towards like what people are typically looking for, and most people are looking for like this kind of artistic, beautiful style.
Well,
right?
think about their
aesthetic.
first user base, right? They were like, oh, it's going to be probably creative people wanting to create really fast amount of work, like cool stuff. Where are we? If we're going to build a database, it's not going to be Google Images. Potentially, just do like really curated like Tumblrs or whatever it was.
For
back in the
sure.
day, and you really curate a database that comes out, and
that's what it seems
artistic
like.
Results.
If I would have to guess, Dall-E is probably trained on a larger data set. And then so it probably is able to identify
700 million
more things. Yeah, exactly.
Something
like
crazy.
So like the little nuances is going to be able to pick up on them a little bit better. But MidJourney might be trained on a higher quality, like artistic data set. And so this would be really interesting. This raccoon float logo, vector art. So we showed a lot of examples of illustrations. This is a fantastic examples of, it's not just like artists that need to freak out. It's also designers, brand designers. And then freak out in a good way, honestly. We're not saying freak out in a bad way. We're saying, what does this mean when you can start iterating on all these different types of logos? But with a click of a button, you kind of elevate every single decision into more of a art director position.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
become a director. Well, you start having to become a creative director in your mind, and that's how usually good designers are really good creative directors. And so when that comes into play, and you can refine it into words,
so it's a really good trend in some ways. Like good designers in the future are going to be really good storytellers. They're not just going to be just pixel pushers, or they're not going to be. No one's going to be able to get away with just making something.
The portfolio of the future is going to be prompts.
Yeah.
Because like
this is what I was able to create with these prompts.
You're not just gonna want designers that can create beautiful art. You want people that can create like substance behind the decision making they're making, the decision process they're making. Therefore, you look at their prompts and you can understand a little bit deeper how they're thinking and their thought process.
It's wild.
So your future portfolio will have a lot of prompts in it. I would recommend it if you're making a portfolio using MidJourney or Dall-E created art.
Oh, it makes so much sense. Like some of these logos is really cool. I highly suggest people take a look at this and just see how you can apply it to your process.
It's not going to do the work for you, that's for sure, but it's going to help you at least ideate and get your mind flowing, because creativity is unbound when you have other tools to help it unlock it. So this is going to be a really fascinating time. I think good and bad for the art community. I think there's going to be a lot of things created.
It's a time of change,
but it's a time of change. It's going to be sweet.
Yeah. It's kind of like having like the industrial revolution. We're going to have the AI revolution, and there'll be a good and bad that comes with it, but hopefully more good.
Let's take a look at Dall-E.
Yeah, let's take a look at their portfolio page really quick. So some beautiful stuff. So I noticed, it's having me run that prompt.
Yeah, just hover over them.
Just hover over them.
Yeah.
So things like 3D renders, referencing things like Octane, Redshift, narrows down Dall-E's kind of data set a bit more. So you get more aesthetical things.
Look at that top monster on the top right.
What are
they using in a purple room. That's it. A photo of a
white fur monster.
It's not much, but look at the lighting. It looks like something Pixar would made. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, if you came up with a bunch of Pixar monsters like this as an art director 5 years ago for Monsters Inc., your boss would be extremely happy with you. Now the fact that this is happening in a flash of a second definitely has implications. Yeah. Bauhaus style painting of Marilyn Monroe.
Man, that's pretty wild.
This face is compelling. The monkey astronaut.
Yeah.
I might need to blow my nose, guys.
Let's finish. We need to wrap this up. Let's wrap this episode up because we need to do the other one. This has already been going on too long.
Well, one thing that I thought was really interesting was that with painters, Dall-E seems to do a really good job. So when you narrow it down to like a specific painter that's already dead, it seems to have no bias
I'm guessing
around.
If it's a live one that has a lot of reference online, I'm guessing you can probably...
You'd probably find too many variations.
Warhol?
Of
Is this
bad
what this
stuff.
is? The bottom right with the dog?
The bottom right with the dog.
Yeah, Andy Warhol. And there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So you have Andy Warhol. Thomas, you were able to recognize that as an Andy Warhol, right? Not that many design students out there with $250,000 education that can pull that off. To the point where you'd be like, hey, that's an Andy Warhol style painting of a French bulldog wearing sunglasses.
Hopefully you'll become like, some people can become world famous artists because of these tools, because they've refined their prompts so well and so, so specifically to their style. And there is artists already blowing up online that have created their own style, and everything they produce is within that style. So to be able to keep these prompts and produce different objects with the same style, that's when you become a really prolific kind of artist in this medium. Because
beautiful curating.
Your style is through everything you want to do. And not every single piece is a different style. And this is where, a little bit more curation comes into play.
One of the things that we do a lot here at our company is we create a lot of background graphics and stuff like that for brands.
Yeah.
So like this is a really good example, a centered explosion of colorful powder on a black background. Now giving that to a photographer to do would be a full day shoot. You'd have to set up lighting, you'd have to get powder, you create a huge mess, you have assistants while you're flashing. And then you get this. But I can kind of run variations of this over and over again and have 50 variations without having to create, like throwing dust in the air every single time, right? Yeah. And if I want to change the color, it's as simple as me in the prompt being more specific to the color. It's amazing.
Or you can do post-production. Now a lot of people take these and then they do 90% or 80% of the work on these, and then they bring it to Photoshop, Lightroom, whatever, and you can make 10 variations of that same image. Pretty amazingly after. So
exciting
times, y'all.
Exciting times. Yeah,
this is crazy. So obviously a lot of things to think about. If you guys haven't tried it, jump on it, go to midjourney.com and to OpenAI and try to get access to Dall-E. In the meantime, we'll have another video coming soon with a deeper dive on both of these and how they work, and
exciting stuff. If you're an artist, definitely play around with the tools, see how it can kind of help augment your kind of sketching or ideation process, and then even becoming like maybe a layer of your artwork in the future
and your process.
You can edit these things. You can even upload your own artwork and see variations of different things that you've done before you kind of attempt these things. It's a lot of fun.
Don't let the tool control you. That's all.
Yeah.
Want to on that?
Yeah. Don't let the tool kind of dictate the solution. Like you can create a lot of beautiful artwork, but make sure that kind of design it for its purpose. So, but that being said, exciting stuff.
Let us know what you think. Let us know. Give us some good prompts that you've been playing with that maybe we can film on a next episode. And thanks for being here.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Talk to you soon. Bye.